This is Andrew for the Chosen Prime with a quick video preview of Gravity Builder GT-01E dump truck, or their updated take on a modern day long haul. This is a production sample or test shot. This is not the final retail version, but it's fairly close with the right plastics and paints and details kind of throughout. We don't have any packaging, but I do have the instructions, but I don't have the full list of everything that comes with the figure. As you can see, he is a nice looking dump truck. He does have 4 soft PVC or rubberized wheels. They are anti-skid, but he rolls very smoothly. Lots of nice green and plastic and detail kind of throughout. The front of the vehicle here has got some stairs and ladders, some cage around the kind of driver's seat here. And overall, it's just kind of a nice updated modern version of long haul here. You can store the chest wing for their version Devastator here on Long Haul's back. You just, it just pegs into a peg here on the gray from the chest wing. And additionally, he can store his gun here on the back. And underneath, there's a couple tabs on the legs that you can use to store the gun there. So that's just a nice new large Voyager kind of scale version of Long Haul here. So let's go ahead and transform him into his robot mode. Transform dump truck here. We want to start with his arms. So these silver parts here will untab from the side of the vehicle. Come to the underside here. This entire piece here where the arm is will slide all the way out. Flip this hand part and lock it into place. And then take the entire bottom half of the hand here and rotate it 180 so that the hollow bits are pointed downwards, and then flip the hand so that the thumb is facing upwards. Take the arm, and then there are 2 little kind of green tabs here that'll match up when you kind of hinge and rotate up this piece, so that'll hold into place. Make sure that the wheel is hinged backwards to the back here. This silver part here will rotate 180, and then it'll fold backwards into the back of his arm, and that's his right arm ready to go. Come to the other side, unpeg this panel from the side again, slide out the entire arm, flip the hand in, and tab it in, rotate the entire lower forearm, make sure that the thumb is facing this way, hinge up and rotate that shoulder piece until it kind of tabs into place, rotate the silver piece and fold this back, and then this tire again, depending on how you set up the arm, we want to double hinge it back so that it's facing backwards on the arm. And we come to the back, and we want to make sure that these connector ports, which they can be up or down in vehicle mode here, but you want to make sure for robot mode, you want to make sure that they are rotated all the way downward like this, and they'll get hidden behind the kneecaps once you ratchet them all down. So come to the side here. This panel will unpeg from the front on both sides, freeing up the legs. The legs can unfold, and you can see that the combiner port here will kind of hide behind the knee. You want to do that on both sides. Come to the tires back here. There's a hinge that they'll double fold inwards and kind of lock themselves in here. And then this little panel here will fold in and peg into the knee. We'll do that on both sides. Come to the wheel, fold it into the end part of his leg, hiding it nice and neat. And then this part will fold in. Come to the toes here. The toes will unfold. And you get a nice heel spur as well as the front of the foot. And there's actually a rubber or soft PVC here to kind of make it so he's anti-skid. Rotate this panel so it's to the side like this, kind of making it flush. The entire upper torso here will fold in and lock into place. Come to the back here. These 2 panels here on the back of the dump truck kind of thing, you want to fold it down to kind of fill in the back. And then we bend back the top here. That allows us to have access to this little canopy here. So you get your fingernail here and open up this canopy, lift it out, and then angle out the head and rotate it around. And there you can see this head and collapses back down. This panel here can either be left back or like this. It's kind of up to you. They leave it in the instructions covered this way. And then come to this little piece back here, and we want to just kind of fold these wings in here. And there is dump truck in his robot mode. And it's a pretty nice looking version of Long Haul here. So let's take a look at some close-up details. Taking a closer look here at dump truck in his robot mode, you can see that Generation Toys done a nice job of making this updated version of Long Haul. We get all the same nice kind of truck mode detail here on his chest, as well as some nice paint and detail and overall kind of color across the entire figure. Very, very little kibble overall on this version of Long Haul, which is quite nice, his modern uptake. As far as posability, if we bring this back, his head is on a ball joint. He does have kind of a golden light piping for his visor there. His arms have a swivel joint as well as the shoulder that can lift up and down here. If you unpeg this little panel, you could even get further movement. He does have a bicep swivel, 90-degree elbow bend. The wrist can rotate, and then it's got a standard kind of one set of fingers that pivot out. He does have a waist swivel. If you move this little chunk here out of the way, he does can rotate at the waist. Universal hips that are ratcheted to the sides. There's no ratchet forward and back, but it's very strong. His hip skirt does kind of get in the way, and unfortunately you can't unpeg it to move out of the way, or else the kind of the legs will come apart, because this kind of waist flap here kind of holds it all together. He does have strong knee bends, 90-degree knee bends, and then the feet again they have kind of rubber bits on the feet here for anti-skid, and they're unposable on a ball and have decent ankle articulation. So it is a nice new updated take here on Long Haul. Again, you can get some nice poses out of him. He does have nice ankle articulation with the waist and then his arms. So it is kind of one of the more posable versions of Long Haul that we've gotten. As far as his weapon, when you have it stowed, this little clip here is facing upwards. You want to face it downward to kind of make it be a little clip. And it's just a matter of just kind of pegging into his hand, and you can hold and wield his gun. So let's go ahead and get Dump Truck here into his torso mode. To transform Dump Truck into his combined torso mode, we want to come to the arms and pull them away from the sides like we did for robot mode. Make sure we pull them all the way out. Untabbing that silver part, and then rotate the arms forward so that the wheels here are kind of facing at the front. Come to the sides here, untab these portions of the back cab. Make sure that the combiner ports here are ratcheted so that they are facing all the way back, and they are strong ratchets, so we want to make sure that they are, however they were originally positioned here, we want to make sure that they're facing outwards like this. Split the legs. You can see there's actually a little gray kind of peg here that's used to hold the legs together when he's in vehicle mode. We want to fold that in. Come to the underside of the legs. That little piece where the peg was, we want to fold it in, and like we did for robot mode, we want to tab this into the kneecap on both sides and kind of lock the foot. The wheel here, you can see there's a tab on the wheel. We want to tab it into the back of the leg. Come to this little piece back here. We want to now fold this down and rotate the entire torso around like this. We're going to come to this kind of wing part here, and we want to fold out these little pieces. This will be his kind of crotch and pelvis kind of plate. Come to the back. This flap, we want to lift it up, and you can see that it actually holds these two panels together. We want to ratchet these two pieces down so that now his stance will be wider. Come back to the little kind of pelvis piece here. There, and inside of it here, there's this panel. We want to have this fold in, and you can see that there are kind of tabs, kind of pegs here that match up pegs there. And we want to make sure that the piece here is folded up, but then also that these two kind of tabs match up accordingly. And then now we can take this back flap, and these two tabs will resit and lock the torso piece into place. We can fold down these little flaps, rotate down the panels here so that they are facing towards the back. Make sure the arms, again with the wheels facing forward, we want to fold them back like this, and then they will sit back into the vehicle on both sides, kind of like they were for vehicle mode. This back panel will lift backwards, fold in these halves of these silver bits here, angle these tires with their little hinges so they're angled like that, and then hidden here behind the front lights are these panels that will rotate out this way on both sides, kind of more fully filling out the torso. And there is a dump truck ready to be combined with the rest of the Gravity Builder bots to make a giant Devastator. So we'll go ahead and move on to some comparisons for this guy. Road mill comparisons with the Generations Combiner Wars version of Long Haul. You can see that the Generations one is much larger, having to kind of have Devastator's hips there, and how much nicer the details here are on dump truck overall. And just how this does look like a nice updated version of Long Haul. Again, it's very posable, it's got a lot of nice detail, very heavy. But here you can see how it's a nice Voyager, kind of larger Voyager sized figure here from Generation Toy. Vehicle mode comparisons. Again, you can see that the Generations version of Long Haul here is much larger than the one from Gravity Builder. And the Gravity Builder definitely has a lot more detail and overall kind of parts, and it looks a lot better as a version of Long Haul, especially here in his dump truck mode. Robot mode comparisons with some other third-party versions of Long Haul. Here on the left we've got TFC's Heavy Labor, which is part of their Hercules. Here we've got the one Gravity Builder's dump truck, and here we've got Toy World's Burden, more of a G1 toy masterpiece kind of scale version of Long Haul. Of the three, you can see that this is a nice middle kind of ground size, nice and large kind of Voyager size figure. He's definitely the most stable of all three versions, with a nice heel support. You know, it's one of the unfortunate small problems with Burden here on the right. And of course, it's just a much nicer take on Long Haul than the original third-party version of Long Haul here, Heavy Labor. And again, you can see just how kind of cool and updated dump truck in the middle here looks in his robot mode. And comparing dump truck modes, you again can see that dump truck here in the middle is larger than the effort from TFC and only slightly smaller than the one from Toy World. It is a much kind of more modern update on the character, with the the front grille having the ladders and steps. But overall, they're all nice looking versions of dump trucks here. Burden's a little bit more G1 than dump truck in the middle here, but still they're all really nice dump trucks, and this is a nice kind of scale and modern kind of classics version of Long Haul. Some final thoughts here for Gravity Builder GT-01E dump truck, or an updated take on Long Haul from Generation Toy. It is a very solid take on a new updated Long Haul for Classic Collections. It probably is the best classic styled updated version of Long Haul that we've gotten yet. They've done an excellent job with a nice updated look, paint, plastic build. He's very solid. He'll be very solid when he's in this combined form. And he's got a whole lot of posability and options as far as just overall playability. Again, this is a test shot or prototype version. We hope to get our stock of this guy and the final member, Crane, sometime in the next month or two. Do remember that if you do order all 6 of the Constructicons or Gravity Builder bots from the Chosen Prime, we will include the little Legends version of Megatron called Tyrant with your order. So if you have been buying all of these Gravity Builder bots before, or you're looking for a nice updated take and kind of third-party highly detailed version of Devastator or Constructicons, Gravity Builder is a nice option, so take care.